with my mom and her last husband, you know, I don't think her expectations were anywhere close to reality of what she was dealing with. She expected that she was going to sail off into the sunset, you know, have that relationship like my grandparents have had. He had none of those same desires, none of those same expectations.
When someone so seductive comes into your range that turns your head against everything that you know is logical, everything that you know is right, everything that you know is true about yourself that you turn away from. That's the only definition of seduction that I can truly relate to.
And many things happen during that protest stage. Foremost, you just love the person harder. It's called frustration attraction. And I now understand that that is because this reward system in the brain just becomes more active. You feel a higher dopamine rush. This is why you can't sleep at night. You obsessively think about the person. You'll drop into their place of work and to tell them you'll never see them again. You walk out, 10 minutes later you're back to say it again. I mean, people do crazy things when they're madly in love and they've been rejected because they've got the chemical energy and the tremendous desire to win this person back.
In this weekend with Harville and Helen, there was a moment in the room that changed my life forever. And at the same time, I was having this incredibly transforming experience and understanding the beauty and the magic. My own husband, who I loved, was committing adultery at the very same moment that I was there.
I mean, why go through all this? But we're saddled with a brain system that evolved long ago.
We were raised to believe that love conquers all. It really isn't true. Love is the first 50%, I would say, that you need to have a successful marriage. But there's a whole second 50%, a whole other half that you need, or it won't work even if you're in love. The saddest divorces, by the way, are people who are still in love. But they don't have that other 50%. They don't have shared values. They aren't able to communicate in a way that's loving and filled with teamwork. They're just little attorneys, you know. They're only able to be little attorneys and argue their point, and they have to be right.
It's alright. You made a mistake. Yeah, it's okay to walk away. Only tomorrow will see you through today.
We say that the power struggle is the second stage of marriage, which means when it happens, it's to be expected. And the culture thinks that if you go into conflict, you've then got an indication that you were the wrong person. And we say when you go into conflict, that's an indication you're with the right person.
Because the reality is that sometimes the best relationships don't always feel the best to be in. You're going to look at these challenges or these hardships as if there's some problem in your relationship, and that's actually not a relationship problem. A relationship problem is not being able to work through a problem. You know, there's going to be death, there's taxes, there's difficulty, there are infidelities, there's, you know, God forbid, like terrible illnesses, there's parents that are going to die. So if your focus is self-gratification, then you don't have the right focus in terms of being able to have a fulfilling and long-sustaining relationship.
What I saw as what happens 14 or 15 years into a relationship is it goes to shit. In fact, it goes to shit 5 years into it. And then you fight for another 10 years, and then you finally get out because it's just so disgustingly painful you can't stand it anymore. And then you live in that. You live, eat, and breathe it. And then how are you supposed to look at relationships after that?
All couples who have great marriages have to end negativity. They just have to end shame, blame, and criticism. You just have to do it. But you know, it takes 3, 6 months, sometimes 2 or 3 years to get a couple to finally clean up their negativity, get it out. So we decided to go cold turkey. Today, never again will I ever say a negative thing about you to you. And we made that as a vow. And for 3 months, we were in real trouble because of
We didn't have much to say to each other. A lot of silence.
A lot of silence.
I had so much growing up to do those first 25 years. The years that he was gone to the service, I grew up to a degree because he had made it easy for me always before. And he has tried to make it easy for me ever since. But I was too stubborn and to realize that. But after our lifestyle changed, I can say it's been a good life.
Could you really share your dreams and forgive all those things like they have? Stand the test of time when everything is on the line.
All of this starts with respect. Even before you can have trust, you have to have respect. So if you have respect for somebody else's opinions, that's the beginning foundation of a good relationship that engenders trust. And it also, I think, engenders a spirit of compromise, because that's what you do when you get in a marriage that lasts. You figure out how to compromise between one position and another. Not every, you won't find yourself in 100% agreement on everything. So you learn to say, well, this is less important to me than that is, so I'll compromise on that.
One thing that we talk about all the time is our communication. We have really good communication. And that's one thing that a lot of people don't have. They're not as honest with one another and as willing to sit down and talk about the real issues that matter, instead of, just acknowledging that there's an issue and then not doing anything about it.
I mean, if she asks me anything, I'm going to say yes. So it's, I can't even, there's nothing that she's going to do that I won't do. Except when I'm watching football and she'll come and ask me, she'll just, she says, honey, honey, I need you to do this. Whenever you get a chance, you don't have to do it right now, but in the next 5 minutes, that type of thing. Can you go pick up those boxes downstairs and bring them up in the middle of the fourth quarter with, the Falcons beating the Panthers by 2 points and they're on the 10-yard line. Because she doesn't care about the football game. But other than that, it's all good, man.
Now here we are, you and